Good morning and welcome to Tanya today. Rabbi Ronnie Fine coming to you from Chabad Zichron Gedeshim. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. I'm sure everybody had wonderful holidays. Welcome to Vida and Liba from New York. And Eugenia from Calgary is with us. Robert from Boston, Shalom. Susan from Scranton. Julie from Florida. Samuel, Shalom. And John from North Carolina, welcome. Susan from Southwest Florida, I guess. Good morning. And also from Florida. Simcha's with us. Down from Indonesia, good evening. Tim from Texas and Clem from Brisbane, Australia, welcome. From California, very early morning for Robert, welcome. And Diane in Connecticut. Good morning. Daisy from Yerushalayim, the holy city, welcome. Good morning to Gary in Pennsylvania, and June in from Australia. David is with us in California. Noria from Stockton, California. Irma in New Jersey, welcome. We have with us Clubhouse Bachia, Vilma, Sina, Celeste, Adam, Nair, Tim, Margot. And we also have with us Yenta Telebenta. Good Morgan. And Avram. Mashiach now. Akoy. All right. We are in the 23rd letter. Speaking about the great value of a community. Community meaning 10 people or more that represent the entirety of the Jewish people, actually. Just like a drop of water can reflect the entire sun. So the quorum, if you will, represents the entirety. So it's a pretty heavy-duty thing. And the power of that group. So where is that usually used is in prayer. But here the Alter Rebbe is speaking about in Torah study in particular. So he quotes from King Solomon that there's nothing new under the sun. And it's true when you think about it. I think this is just current wisdom. E equals mc squared means that energy turns to matter, matter turns to energy, but there's nothing new except something that's over the sun. What's over the sun? Well, our Torah study is over the sun, above the sun, meaning it's not part of nature, not part of the natural order of things. And therefore, it's powerful. It's powerful. Very simple. It's powerful. Now, that's in general. One person's study, as we explained previously, that one person's study of Torah there's a great reward in the experience that a person can have of that connection to God, like calling God, like calling your friend. So we call God through our study of Torah to connect, which is very powerful. But when we're doing it in a group, group study. And as I mentioned previously, in a certain sense we have that, but it's not in the truest sense because we're not in the same room. There is something much more powerful of that, particularly when it comes to prayer. So the Alter Rebbe is very strong in his words here. He says that to my brethren and friends who draw near to God, and drawing near to God means through prayer. So before and after prayer, the Alter Rebbe says, don't be in the company of scoffers. Meaning, if two people sit together and there aren't words of Torah that are exchanged, that's what's called the company of scoffers. In other words, you think there's nothing new under the sun? Well, you study Torah. You're bringing something beyond the sun, beyond the nature of this world. So, imagine then if it was 10 people where the Shekhinah is abiding, and you would be a company to scoffers. That's a great insult to the Shekhinah. That's shaming the divine presence of God. As the Alter Rebbe says, if our sages say in the Talmud that a person who commits a transgression in secret repulses the feet of the Shekhinah, God forbid. So you imagine the whole measure and the stature of the Shekhinah, the Creator, that one would repulse because you're doing it publicly. In other words, there's no room for me and you, as the sages say, when we repulse the Shekhinah, when we are pushing it away. And even more so, the king, referring to God, is held captive and shackled in the minds of unworthy thoughts that a person has. So, and further, as it says in the Zohar, that on account of 3 things, the Jewish people are detained in exile, repulsing the Shekhinah, shaming the divine presence of God. So, when we're in a public setting, like in prayer, so the importance of before and after prayer, to use the opportunity to not repulse the Shekhinah, but to bring, as we said, above the sun, Torah teachings, and Torah teachings in a manner of, as we explained previously, that we actually bring something new into this world, a new light of God. Being that by the study of Torah, we create a union between the male and female parts of the divine. So the female is the Shekhinah, the divine presence, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the male part. We create that union that begets new life and new light.